Hey, good morning, everyone. So today's session is going to be complete a revision of all the previous covered topics. And if you have any questions, please raise it now. I don't want people having doubts and they are keeping themselves and not raising any questions. But when I'm explaining a concept, you don't have a clarity on the previous classes. That doesn't make any sense because these are the very beginning. And as long as your foundation is strong, okay, so in upcoming classes you will be understanding more thoroughly. Okay, Python is not only this, right? So we need many other things: object oriented programming, file handling, and data structures, and others. These are very beginning topics. Please feel free to raise any questions. If I'm going faster, I told you many times, if I'm going faster, please let me know, I'll go slower. If any topics is not properly understood, let me know and I'll revision it again. Okay, and as of this session, I'm doing no, a revision of all the previous covered topics. Okay, please try to raise any questions if you don't understand now. Okay, so we started with what is Python, right? Okay, at least now, if anybody has any questions, please raise it now, and we'll focus on the topic more, and I'll just go through remaining topics on over. Any topics you don't have any clarity, or you want me to repeat it again that class? Any questions? At least ping in the chat if you are not comfortable to speak. Everybody understood?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. What about Bindu, Narmada, Karthik, Rohit, Rishita, Viresh? Everyone understood the previous topics?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So it's okay, I believe, but please try to listen this class again. If you have any questions, please raise it now, or at least if you missed any concept, just brush it up. Okay. So as of now, this class will be dedicated to revision only. Okay. So can someone answer what is Python and what is the definition we have I have given to you? Viresh? So everybody understood the topic, right? What is Python? Yeah, Rohit. Okay, fine. So Python is a what? General, general multi-purpose, object-oriented, high level. You can say many things. High level programming language. Correct? If somebody asks you what is general, which is most commonly used across multiple platforms. So multiple platforms is nothing but multi-purpose, where you are using in multi-domain to develop these applications. They will develop a desktop application, networking, data science, artificial intelligence, IoT, machine learning, everywhere we are using. So that is the multi-purpose. The same thing has been used in multiple places. And object-oriented is like where you are having OOPS concepts. So it is object-oriented. High level means I discussed, right? There's a two type of programming language. One is low level and high level. Low level means ones and zeros. High level means human readable. Correct? Okay. So once that is done, and we discussed what kind of applications we develop. We develop desktop applications, web applications. We can do scripting. We can develop game applications. We can develop IoT applications, data analysis, correct? Data engineering, okay, and so data engineering, we have PySpark. Data analysis, we have Pandas and NumPy, correct? And we are also having IoT already given, machine learning, AI, artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, everything. Okay, and we have many other things like artificial intelligence, we have data science, etc. So these are the many use cases where Python is having it, correct? And we also discuss some of the features, correct? What is Python is case sensitive, and it is object oriented, and it is also functional programming. Okay, functional programming is nothing but where a lambda expressions has been used. Okay, so that's what we take it. And we also discussed Python is an interpreter. What is interpreter? And compare. Line by line execution. It will go with the first line and it will execute. Then it will go and check the second line. Correct? Even I have shown you the same thing. Before executing the variable and to declare it later, that is not possible. But JavaScript, there is a variable hoisting is there. So, but in Python, there is no such concepts because it is an interpreter. And we know the compiler. Compiler means where your code will be there, it will be compiled and a bytecode will be generated and that bytecode will be run across the platforms, correct? So that's how it happens in the bytecode cases. And we also discussed, so once we're done with this, so what else we discussed? The next topic we discussed is data types, correct? How many data types is available in Python? 5 data types. Correct? What are those 5 data types? Integer, string, float, Boolean. Okay, 5 plus complex. What numbers are considered as an integers? All whole numbers, which means that minus infinite to plus infinite. It can be any number, including 0, all numbers from minus infinite to plus infinite. So all numbers is considered as an integers, correct? And floating means a decimal values, fractions, anything which has like 0.0s, 0.1, anything if you give 0.0 also, it becomes a floating number, correct? And we have string, a sequence of characters where you are defining with a single, double, and triple quotes. And where we are using single quote, where you use a double quote and triple quote, we'll discuss. And floating point, we already told you, Boolean values will be having 2 values, which is true and false, correct? And I'm having complex, where you are having a plus bi is a mathematical representation, a plus bj is a Pythonic way of representation, where you are having a real number and an imaginary number, correct? For example, I'm having any data type, so I'm having this number. Okay. What is this number? Integer. Okay. Can I give underscore like this? Can I give underscore in between a number? You can give an underscore between a numbers, correct? So, but there is no change in behavior. Still, it will work the same. But if you give a comma separation, what happens? Multiple values will be assigned. It will be considered as a multiple values and it get assigned, correct? So let me show you that. For example, a is equal, I'm giving this, correct? If I execute a, it's the same number. There is no change in behavior. But for the same number, for different number, give some comma, some comma, some comma. What happens? It will consider as 3 different values with a comma separation. All values will be assigned to a variable. It will, data type of a variable is tuple it becomes instead of an integer. Okay. For example, if you see here, 3 values are clubbed together and it is assigned to 1 variable. So that's why called packing and unpacking. We'll discuss more data, more detail in a tuple data structure when we are explaining. If you want to know a type, which data type, which function you have to use? Type function you have to use, correct? Type function is used for what? To check the data type of a variable. I'm having generic functions. In my generic functions, what is the first thing we discussed? Type function. Type function is used for what? To check the data type of a variable. Correct? Any doubt in this? Any doubt? No, right? So, and we also discussed one more function, print function. What does print function do? it will print the values on the console or terminal. That's it. The print function will just print the values. For example, I'm having a print function. I want to print some number here. You can print it. Correct? But if you want to print a multiple numbers, for example, I'm having here and having one number, comma, some another number. Okay. If I want to print it, I can print it. No problem. But whoever familiar with Java, so in Java, there is a statement, print statement. That is system.out.println. It will print only one variable. It will print only one variable. So there's a restriction with the Javas. But Python is more user friendly. It will give you, it doesn't have any problem with it. You just give me a variable, I'll just print it. That's it. You give a comma separator, then you give me anything, I'll just print it. Okay. So that's what we discussed as part of print statement. For example, I want to take input from a user. Input from a user, which function I have to use? Input function is used. Okay, if I want to give any prompt, I can give the prompt. And this is an optional. Prompt means it will ask you, okay, what is the value you want to enter? But if you give a simple input, it will just give you a single text box to enter it. Getting it? So that's what it happens with the input function. Input function is used for what? To get the user input. Getting it? So, and we also discussed one more function, is instance. Correct? To check the data type is matching or not. Correct? So it takes two arguments. It takes two arguments. One is object or the value which you want to check. And what is the class? Class is nothing but which data type. You pass the data type. For example, if I'm having is instance, okay. So for example, I'm having, what is it? A, right? If I use is instance method and I pass a as a value, an object, I want to pass a tuple data type here. If I pass this tuple data type, it is matching or not. It will give true, either false. And we'll discuss more in tuple. So I don't want to give a tuple example now. Just don't confuse again. I'm giving some more now, some number, and I'm giving integer, integer data type, right? And I give this case, it is an integer data type. Okay, in the same thing, there is another option as well. If you want to check multiple things, So how you do it? You give this. Either it can be an integer or float. Getting it? It can be either integer, either float. You pass anything in any one of them, then it gets a true. For example, I'm giving is instance, same thing. Let me just use it. And I'm giving 100, 100. So if I give a point, it becomes what? Float data type. If I execute it, true. But if you are using single now, it will give is instance int, is instance float. You don't have to do that. If you want to check it two data types at the same time, that also you can do it with the is instance method. Correct? So this is also one of the example. Check two data types at the same time. Okay. And we also discussed what other methods we discussed. Length function. Length function is used for what? To check the length or count. To check the length or count. And any other generic methods we discussed? Yesterday we discussed one method, which is ID method. ID method will give you what? Memory address. The variable you declare, where that variable is stored. I want to know where it is stored. What is the memory address? For example, use IDA function. In this ID function, pass a variable A, and where you'll get memory address. In that, this is the memory address, this value is stored. Okay, that's what with the ID operator. Is that clear? Any questions? All right. So everybody is familiar with the integer, float, boolean. Boolean values are internally stored as what? Zeros and ones. Correct. For example, I'm having 100. I'm giving minus true. What is the result now? 100 minus true. What is the result I am asking? 99. 100 minus 99. 1, right? If I give 100 minus 99, it will be 1. But I am giving true, right? True internally stored as what? 1. For example, I'm giving is instance method and I'm giving a true and I give integer is the data type. See what happens? It is getting true because I'm telling you now, in the true internal store as what? Ones and zeros. True means 1, false means 0. Both are in integer numbers only. So though it is a Boolean data type, still you will get what? Integer. That gets a true. So that you have to be very careful when you are checking the data type. Even you are getting a Boolean value, it will be evaluated as integer. Okay. So like this is the same thing. If I give Boolean also here and execute, both the cases you get the same result. Now you understand, right? What is the difference? Okay. So we discussed with the Boolean and we discussed a complex. For example, I'm having some number 1 plus 8j. Correct? And I'm assigning this to a variable called C. It's a complex number, right? C is equal to 1 plus 8j. Correct? If you want to know the data type of a function, this is a type function and get the type of that. Type of C is a complex. Now I want to get a real number, C dot real. You will get a floating number, 1.0 you will get. C dot imaginary. You will get an imaginary number. Correct? Okay, so these are the methods we used. And we also have few of the functions we discussed is what? Type conversions. Correct? We also done the type conversions. As we have 5 different data structures, we have 5 different type conversions from one data type to another data type. If you want to convert, yes, it is possible to convert it. You can use that type conversion functions. You have integer function to convert anything to an integer, float, string, Boolean, and complex. In most of these 4 cases, you will take only one value. You will take only one value. But complex is the only case it will take 2 values. Complex is the only case where you take 2 values. First value will be real, second value will be imaginary. If you are passing only first value, that value is considered as real number. Correct? For example, I'm giving complex of 5, you will get 5 plus 0z. Correct? I'm giving complex function and I'm giving only 5 because 5 is what? See if you see here. Complex of here real is equal to 0, imaginary is equal to 0. By default, those are the values. First value I'm passing 5. First value is what? Real number. Now if I execute this and get 5 plus 0j because imaginary number by default is 0j. So how it is taking, we'll discuss when we are discussing about arguments. In the functions, we have 4 different type of arguments: position arguments, default arguments, keyword arguments, everything we'll discuss, and that is the time. So this is not the right time to discuss all those topics. Clear? Any questions? So in terms of type conversions, convert everything. Exactly. Okay. For example, I'm trying to convert a string to an integer. What is the criteria? I'm having a string with the alphabeticals and I'm trying to convert it in an integer. For example, and I'm having integer function. I'm trying to convert it. And I'm having a alphabetical characters here. And I'm trying to convert it. What happens? Integer of, I'm giving a sequence of characters. You will get a value error because that cannot be converted. It's alphabetical characters cannot be converted into an integer number. Correct? But if an integer function is there, okay, let me, I don't have zoom here. And I'm having integer function. In this integer function, and I'm passing a single string, but this string is having only numbers. Then it gets converted. Understand the difference? Okay, sir, how I can get to know how though whether it is having strings, whether it is having only numbers, how we can check it? There is we have string methods we discussed, right? I'll discuss that as well. Any questions on type conversions? Anyone? Any questions up to now? type conversions, generic functions, data types, use cases of Python. Any questions? Guys, any questions?
No questions.
Yeah, good. So once that is done, what is the next topic we discussed? Naming conventions. Okay. What is the naming convention rules? What is the first rule? Only allowed characters are alphabets. Alphabets. It can be lowercase or uppercase. For example, A to Z or uppercase A to Z. And it accepts the numbers or digits from 0 to 9. And only special characters which is allowed is what? Which is underscore. If you are coming from a Java background, dollar symbol is allowed. But Python, the only character is allowed, no, special character is allowed is underscore. That is the first rule. Correct? What is the second rule? It should not start with number. But from second character onwards, it can be a number. Correct? For second character, first it should not start with, but second character, first character should be in alphabets or a underscore. First character can be, what is that? First character should be a alphabet or underscore. Okay, that cases it is possible. And third thing, what is the third rule?
It should not start with any special character.
Yes. The only special allowed special characters is what? Underscore. You cannot use
Any other.
any other special characters. Okay. Even dollar symbol, dollar isn't allowed because many of the programming languages they support dollar. Many of the programming language, but Python is the only one which doesn't allow. That is the reason I'm stressing the dollar. Even dollar isn't allowed. And what is the fourth rule? Reserved words. Reserved words is nothing but keywords. Can be used to declare a variable name. Correct? Get a variable name. Correct? So what is the, sir, how I get to know what are the reserved keywords in Python? So what are the reserved keywords? You just have to import keywords. So what is keyword, import, everything we'll discuss as part of packaging and modules, everything. Just understand there is a different module is there and you are just importing it. Import keyword, the keyword dot KW list. KW list is nothing but keyword list. All these are the reserved keywords. Correct? And if you pass the, no, if you want to check the how many values is present, you just use what? Length function. In the length function, pass that keyword dot KW list. How many keywords is available? 35 reserved keywords. If you observe carefully, almost everything is lowercase. Everything except 3 arguments. These 3 is backbenchers. Okay. These 3 is only moles. Moles, like the people we say okay. So this is the one. So if you see here, false F is uppercase, and none is uppercase, and true is uppercase. But everything, most of every keyword, every function is lowercase. If somebody asks you, what is the Python keywords is lowercase or uppercase? You should say combination. Because we are having true, false, none. These 3 is uppercase. It's not uppercase, it is a capitalized. One character, only capitalized. Only first character is uppercase. If it is uppercase means all the characters should be uppercase, right? Only these three, first it is in capitalized. That is it. Otherwise, all other things is lowercase. You see here everything and as asset, everything is lowercase. Correct? Any doubt in this? Good. So these are the naming conventions rule we discussed. And so there is nothing else. An integer, string, float, complex, everything done. So there is the last top class. In the last class, we discussed string. Correct? String is nothing but what? You define anything in a single, double, or triple. Not only sequence of characters, it can be anything. A sequence of characters means you are defining alphabets like that kind of thing. Characters means an alphabets. So that is the reason we go with a sequence of characters. Because there is a char is one data type. Char it will allow only one single character in Java or C# any other things. There is only one single char. Char is another data type. But anything, even single character is also string in Python. Okay, so if you go with another programming languages now, not only this, when in a float, you'll be having another data type, which is double. In a string, you will also have another data type, which is a char. Okay, so that is another method, no, another data types. But Python, anything with a decimal, just give me a float. Why you are declaring another? Where do you have, this is alphabet, right? Give me as a string. Why you are defining another data type? I don't want to make it complex. I want to be very user friendly. So that is the reason Python is offering all these things. Correct? Anything you define with a single, double, or triple quotes, that is what? There is a string. Perfect. So why a single quote? Why double quote? And why triple quotes? Single quote are used. That's fine. Okay. For example, let me see this one. Open a new one. Okay. So that is going down last time. Okay. So if you see here, when I'm declaring a variable, okay, declaring a variable. For example, I'm having string, some character, something is there. That this is fine. But for example, I open a single quote. Today isn't is apostrophes it will come, right? Apostrophes, there is no apostrophe. You have to give single quote only. In the keyboard, there is no, you have to give apostrophe. What I'm doing? Isn't a good day. But what happened here? Only these things are considered as a string, but remaining characters are not considered as a string. You understand the problem? Okay, if I execute this, what happens? You definitely get error. In this case, to avoid these kind of things, they introduce double quotes. Now you execute this to me, I don't have any problem. Now I'm getting this right. Okay. Otherwise, what you are supposed to do is this case now, sir, I want to use a single quote only. I want to use what? Single quote only. But how I can do that? But here, this is a problem. How I can do it? You just have to give an escape character. This backward slash is an escape character. If you do this, if you observe here, this is up to green color, this is a black color. As long as give it a backslash, now it gets skipped. Python will skip it when it is reading it. Getting it? But if you see the result also, what is there? It is giving in a double quotes. Everything understand? So now you understand, right? When you are giving a longer sentence, you are giving any apostrophes, any other special characters, you give one single comma colon, there is a problem for you. Correct? So that is the time where you come up with a double quote and single quote will be very handy. Getting it? Okay, so that is fine. And then what about the triple quotes? Not only this, you can give this. This is also fine. This is also considered either single 3 times, either double quote 3 times. If you execute this, what is the problem? The problem is you have to define something here. Okay, here what happens? See, Up to here, 3 quotes. So I give one more extra. That is the reason. Okay. I give here triple quotes and triple quotes. No issues, right? And triple quote, I'm giving double as a triple quotes. Space, I'm giving double triple quotes. Yeah, one more time. Sorry. Understand? But the advantage with the triple quote is when you are declaring a paragraphs, you want a new line means you'll get in a new line. However, you are just printing it, it will give it the same thing. Okay. For example, I open a double with triple quotes. Here I also triple quotes. What I'm doing is Rama Ram. This is giving me a problem. For string. Okay. Because as long as I'm just giving enter now, it is just executing it in ideally. Okay, so that is the reason. I'm giving this. Okay. So here what I'm doing is Ram, take a new line, is new line, a good line. Here I give tabs, good. Got. It's got connected once again. See here, you're getting new lines. Okay. It's just instead of this thing, for example, I assign to this a variable. Okay. So if you don't understand this, slash n means a new line. Okay. If you don't understand this, just assign to a variable. Okay. Execute that and print that variable. Print of x. See here. Ram is in a new line. Okay. But if you give, I give a space, even space is there. Is a, I give tab 3 equals tab space. Everything, how much you are giving it, the same thing it will be get printed. When you are giving a paragraphs in a new lines format, there is a separate different formats. It will take exactly things. So that is the reason we have a triple quotes. In this paragraph things, you have double quotes, triple quotes, no, or when you are giving apostrophes, everything, it will just store it. I don't have any concerns. Understand the advantage, correct? So now you know, right, why you need a single quote. Everything has its own value. Okay, so now, and what are the methods is available? What are the methods is available in my string? For cases. Cases means lowercase, uppercase thing. Changing the cases. I'm having lower. For what? What is the lower? What does my lower function do? Convert all the characters to lower. Okay. And I'm having upper. Upper function, what it does do? Convert all the characters to uppercase. I'm having swap case. Lower to upper, upper to lower. You just have to play with it. So it is a string. You can do anything with the functions. Use that function. What is happening there? Okay. And now I'm having capitalize. It will take first character starting as an uppercase, all remaining characters lowercase. That's like a first line English statement. That is relevant to cases. And I'm having Boolean things. So Boolean things is nothing but is alpha. L P H. I want to check only alphabets is there. Only alphabets. Is alpha L numeric. Both alphabets and numbers. And what are the another things? Is space. Okay, in that string, for example, if there is any mandatory fields, when you are filling the forms now, there is a mandatory fields. People, what they do now, they just give a space and enter. But that time, if you want to give any validations, you just have to give that validation. If any space is given, no, we are not going to take a space. Give some characters to me. Okay, for example, I'm giving, right? Okay, I'm having string. I'm giving single space, and I'm giving is space function. Getting true? Okay, not only single, sir. What about I'm giving this much space? All are spaces only. How many spaces also I don't know how many counted. But if you give is space function, it will get considered as space. Understand that? For example, there is a word count or character count. For example, when you are filling a form now, minimum 50 characters should be there. Minimum 100 characters should be there. People give now 100 spaces. They are very smart nowadays. Okay. In that cases, you just use the is space function, it will evaluate you that thing. Correct? And what is the other functions is having? You just do E control spot plus space bar. Okay, all the functions available, you will get it. Okay, so now I'm also having is upper. All characters is in my string are uppercase. Is lower. All my characters is in lower case. Is title. Means first character, which is in a capitalize. The first character should be is uppercase and all remaining characters should be lowercase. That is the reason we are having is title. Okay, so and we are also having for numbers. Okay, for numbers in Boolean only, it's a numbers. We have three functions: is digit, yeah, is decimal, DCI, and here, and is numeric. So these are the three functions available. Is digit means any variables you are having, any numbers you are having 0 to 9. It will accept only 0 to 9. You give any other different number system, Roman numbers, or any Sanskrit, Hindi numbers, like Hindi numbers or any other language numbers. Okay, it will give you false. It will accept only 0 to 9. Even give Arabic also, it will try to give another something. Whenever you are having superscript 2 power 2, 2 power 2, like that you are giving, so that time it will give you false. Is digit. Is decimal. Sorry. That's a mistake. This thing does in is decimal is for what? This is the case. Sorry. Small correction. I get confused some of these times. Is decimals, it will accept only 0 to 9. Okay. What does you do is come here, do decimal numbers. If we have number system, right? Decimal numbers, anything with a base 10. Base 10, right? Anything with a base 10, 6, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 0 to 9, all those are considered what? Decimals. Okay, I thought it is a fractions are considered as a decimal numbers. No, it is a number system, decimal number system. It is talking about number system. Is decimal, is numeric, is digit, is talking about the number systems. Okay, so this is the number decimal system, which is 10, base 10. If it is octa, base 8, hexa, base 16, base 2, binary, zeros and ones. You remember? Right? So that is the word for is decimal. Is digit means any superscript or subscript, any powers, superscripts and subscripts is there in the string, then it will evaluate as a true. But all characters should be numbered. Again, on all these cases, in all these cases, a string should have all are numbers, not even one alphabet. That is the only case it will give you true. Otherwise, it will become what? Alphanumeric. It will become what? Alphanumeric. Getting it? So the time I have to use is alphanumeric, not is digit or is number. Getting it? Right. Is numeric. This is the most commonly used. Most commonly, even most of the times I use in the project. It give any number system. Any number system. As long as it is a number. Even you give Arabic, you give Roman, you give Chinese, anything. As long as it is a number, it is in a different number system. It will evaluate to what? True. The only case it evaluates to false is you give negative numbers. You give negative numbers or fraction numbers, 9.0s in a string. I'm talking about in a string. Okay, let's type that as well. In a string, you give these values, -2, negative numbers or decimal numbers or alphabets. These cases, it will be false. And all other cases, will get it true. Even I gave a one box here. Where is it? Here. See here. The only case it is false is when you are giving a negative number or when you are giving any floating point or whenever you are giving an alphabet. That is the only case it is a false. In all other cases, it is true. Okay, just observe this table, then you will get it. So these are the different functions we discussed. And there is another functions also. If you want to replace some characters, discuss now. For example, replace B with a C, right? When I'm having a bat, replace B with a C, it becomes cat. So that's what we discussed. The replace function. We discussed that. And we have a join is the one function. Join function, it will like club multiple values into one value. Okay, here I want to discuss this topic when we are discussing a list or tuple, because where you are having a list of values. Okay, and I have shown you the demo as well. Okay, for example, I'm having this dot, I'm giving join. What I'm doing is I'm having A. Okay, I'm giving B. I'm giving C. Now this happens what? It will become ABC. Getting it? So this is what a list data structure. So that is the reason I want to discuss in the list class. But so one person asked it out, then I discussed that. Getting it? So and we also discussed few other functions as well. So this is for the replace and join. For space removal. We have spaces, right? How you remove it? Strip. When there is a word, before there is a space and after there is a space. Leading and trailing spaces, you want to remove it, use a strip function. And I want to remove only left side, L strip. I want to remove only right side, R strip. Remember, what did I tell you, right? I'm giving all spaces, I'm giving apple, I'm giving all the spaces here. Correct? And I'm assigning to a variable. Okay, here x is equal to. I'm giving x dot strip. Everything is gone. You give x dot L strip. Removes only
Side.
left side. It got all left side is gone, only right side is there. X dot R strip. Only right side is gone. Getting it? And stripping is done, space removal is done, joins is done. So these are the most commonly used functions. And there is one more function which we rarely uses. So that is the reason we discussed it, Z-fill. Z-fill is like you are having a string with a less number of characters. But I'm having only a string with a 5 characters. Now I want a 10 string character. 10 is the size, 10 is the length. Okay. For example, what I'm doing, I'm having apple. Correct? For this apple, okay. For example, I'm giving apple. How many characters is available? 5 characters. But what I'm doing is I want a 10 length character. I want what? 10 length character. So this case, front 5 zeros will be added. Okay. If I execute this, see, first 5 zeros is added. So now the what if I execute, what is the length of it? We'll get 10. Getting it? right? So this is the most commonly used functions we discussed. Any doubts up to now? Any doubts about the string functions? So all these are the functions we discussed. Here, and the last topic we discussed yesterday is what? Operators. I believe operators is a very simple topic. So everybody is familiar with the less than, greater than, even from childhood. You're not a kid. So that is the reason I went faster yesterday. If you're not, please try to practice it. If you're not getting anything, just let me know and we can discuss that. That's what I'm saying. We are having 5 different data types. No, we have what? Arithmetic. Second thing is what? Comparison or relational operators. And both are same. Comparison, relational. Assignment operators. And we have membership. And what is the fifth one? Identity. Arithmetic operators, everybody is familiar. Plus, minus, multiplication and division. You give a single slash, it is a division operator. You'll give floating result. But if you want integer result, give double slash. Okay, let me type it. We have so okay, I'm very lazy to do this. Take this out. Keep it here. So I'm having plus. Plus is for addition of two things. Minus, subtraction, multiplication, multiply the two numbers. And this is a what? Division. In division operator, what you'll get? You'll get a floating result. When you divide, you'll get a floating result. But if you want a integer, you give modulus. This is a float division operator. We have modulus operator. You want what? A remainder. Percentage symbol, you get a remainder of it. When you are having a quotient, divisor, and divisor. Getting it? And I'm having less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. And we also have one more thing, isn't equal. So I forgot that. Okay, isn't equal. Like A isn't equal to B. 10 isn't equal to 10. So like, yeah, it is false. Correct? And so this is the like comparison. Both are same. This case, there is, I'll discuss this. This is the one which I want to discuss today. Everybody is familiar with the comparison operator. Everybody is familiar with arithmetic operators. What is happening here is when you are self-assigning a variable, self-assigning, A is equal to A plus 10. In that case, you just do A plus equal. So here, instead of what is happening, let me show you. Now what I'm doing is A is equal to 10. Execute this state. What happens? A is equal to A plus 5. This case, what will be the A value? 15. Instead of this representation, there is a short representation. What? A plus 5. This case, you'll get 20. 15 plus 5. Correct? So that is the 20. So that is a shortcut. The same thing with the instead of plus, you replace with multiplication. You give multiplication, no division, subtraction, anything. That is it. Getting it? And we also discussed membership operators. Membership is operator for what? Is he a student or not? Whether he is a member or not. When that group, for example, a group of values. Everybody is having friendship groups, right? Is he your friend? No, he is not with our friend gang, our group. Getting it? So now I'm having batch 83. I'm having batch 82 or batch 80. Batch 80 people cannot be coming to batch 83. And you cannot go to batch 80. Right? So that's like checking it in or not in. Correct? For example, I'm checking like I want to check whether A is in Apple. A is in, A character is there. Yes. If it is not there, you get a false. In or not in. Familiar? Right. And that is the last operator which I am yet to discuss. Correct? So I discussed one function, ID, right? Huh? What is the ID function is used for is to get memory address where that value is getting stored. Getting it? If I want to compare address is same, address, content, different. Content means whether the value is matching or not. Whether value is matching or not, that is used for double quotes. Equal operator. See, for example, content comparison or address comparison. So you have to understand the difference. Address versus content. Address means where it is stored. For example, whoever staying in your home, everybody is having the same address. Correct? Address is not going to change, but people are changing. If I'm coming to your address, your mother, your father, your brother, sister, everybody is having the same address. So that address, if I give is, you'll get a value, true. But Srihari is Srihari, but your brother is there. His name is Revant. Srihari is not Revant, Revant is not Srihari. If I call to, you come to your address and I call Revant. Revant only will come, not Srihari will come and talk to me, right? Getting the difference. But when I'm calling the name means it's like comparing the content. He should be the same person, same content. For example, content comparison means it should be the same content. Here, Apple is equal to Apple. Here, my content should be there. Both should be same. Content comparison. Okay. But address comparison means whether are they having the same address or not. Are they having same address or not? So that is the reason we're gonna use is operator. Is operator when you use to check is operator is used to check whether they have same memory address or not. Getting it? For example, I'm having A is equal to 10, B is equal to 10 again. Getting it? I'm using a print function and I'm using ID function. ID function is used for what? To get memory address. ID of B. See here, both addresses are same. Both addresses are same. Both are stored in what? Same address. Okay. So now what I'm doing is, if I give A is B, you'll get it true. Because both are stored in same address. Getting it? For example, I'm giving C is equal to 20 now. If I give ID of C, it's stored in different address. It is 60, it is now 280 and 960. If I give A is C, that opposite is like A is not. That's it. You yourself are saying address should not be the same. Is not means address should not be the same. Here, yeah, address is not same. So that is the reason I'm giving it true. Is not means address shouldn't be the same. Getting it? For example, A is B, right? If I execute this, what is happening? True. If I give is not, what happens? False. But because both addresses are same, now you're doing is not, I'm giving you false. Getting it? Any questions? Is and is not is used for address comparison. Double equal is operator used for content comparison. Getting it? Any questions? So all these are the topics we discussed yesterday up to now. Any questions? Even we also ran out of the time. Correct, exactly 1 hour. So we done an entire quick revision. If anybody is having any questions, please try to at least watch today's video. If you don't have time for 5 videos watching today, we discussed all the topics today's class. At least watch today's video. Okay, please raise your questions if you're not familiar. I don't know whether you are having a doubt or not. Since most of the people are joining on online, you can't even see their faces. You have to raise your questions. Getting it? Yes. So once we are done, from tomorrow's class, we're going to discuss the data structures. Okay. Data structures also we have 5: list, tuple, set, frozen set, and dictionary. So these are the 5 data structures. We have 5 fundamental data types and we have 5 data structures. So in tomorrow class, we're going to discuss list one day, tuple one day. Every day, one data structure we'll try to discuss. List is one, and we'll go entire details up to list, how values are getting stored, how address is getting stored, everything. So like that, we'll discuss everything.